Hello, my loves, and welcome back. Do you worry that your cat is anxious? Do you know what to look for, which would help you understand if your cat is dealing with anxiety? In this video, I'm going to share with you 8 secret signs to look for that can give you an indication that your cat is dealing with anxiety. If you haven't already subscribed to the Naturally Cats YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button along with the bell to get notifications of my new releases so you can help your cat with every video. So when I trained in cat behaviour, crikey, many moons ago, I was taught about signs of anxiety in cats, but they were really obvious signs, hiding away under the bed, overgrooming, for example. It didn't go into much detail about the more subtle signs to look for. And in the, crikey, I think it's like 20 years, oh my goodness, how am I old enough to say that I've been a cat guardian. The more I've got to know my cats, the more I've been able to distinguish and understand the more subtle signs of anxiety, which is why I called this video the 8 secret signs, because there may not be things that you're fully aware of or have even pieced together that can mean your cat is potentially an anxious cat. So before we get started, I just want to say, if you are worried about your cat, please get a vet check done. No amount of videos on YouTube or content on social media will replace getting them checked by a vet. So if it is safe to do so, if you have the capacity to do it and you feel that you need additional support, please speak to your vet in the first instance, okay? So now that bit's done, let's dive in. So the first thing I want to talk about is running out of a room when you walk in. Does your cat do that? So a lot of this video, I'm going to reference my cat Leo because he is a nervous, timid, maybe not timid. He is a nervous, anxious cat. Okay, he deals with anxiety, as do I. No surprise there. But there are times when I walk into a room, he looks at me and he runs out. Does your cat do that? Yes, they could be having zoomies or having playtime, but it's about the subtle changes in their behavior and their body language. Okay. So it's being aware, like, if that's happening often, are they ungrounded? What's going on with them? Why don't they feel safe to be around you? Is it because you're intimidating when you walk into a room? Is it because they feel they're going to be cornered or held or picked up? Leo doesn't like to be picked up. Like, what is it? Okay. So the first is running into the room when you walk out. The second is being reactive when the doorbell goes or when someone comes to the door. So again, with Leo, even if someone walks across like our dining room window, which is out onto the street, he might go and run outside. If someone comes down the drive, or if the neighbours, because we are joined by drives, if they're doing something on their drive, he goes and runs outside. If somebody comes to the door, usually a cat food delivery or Amazon, and they either knock on the door or use the doorbell, he goes and runs outside. So there are ways that we can help our cats with this. So I tell him now of anything that I'm aware of, anyone coming to the home, I tell him. My sister's on her way, buddy. She's going to be here in 20 minutes. Feel free to go and hide. Okay? Because this isn't about changing the cat. This video, in fact, my Naturally Cats ethos is about helping to understand your cat, to give them a voice, to embrace the unique, sentient, sensitive being that they are, because every cat is unique. There was a time when I would get so frustrated with Leo running out of the door. I'd be like, for goodness sake, it's just someone coming to the door. It's just cat food. It's just a delivery. It's just a moment. Like, why are you being so reactive? And yet, the more I've worked on why I felt that way about things, the more I'm able to support him, to say to him, buddy, quick, someone's coming to the door, run away and be safe, whether you need to hide or go outside. So it's important that we don't kind of, project onto our cats our own emotions and kind of traumas and issues. Okay, so that's the second one, being reactive when someone comes to the door. Okay, the next one is, do they come to you when you're sleepy? So this may be strange, just bear with me. I used to say that Leo wasn't a lap cat. I've got photos of him on my lap, but he's not, physical touch isn't his primary love language. It's not the first way that him and I connect. Whereas with Pickle, we would lie in the bed and spoon together and have cuddles. Baby Max will come and sit on my lap after he's eaten when he comes home. Okay, every cat is different. Leo will come and give me physical contact, usually in the mornings or after I've meditated. And do you know what those two things have in common? My vibration, my energy, my aura, my body, everything is different. So I'm sat here with you now doing this video. I'm thinking about making sure I cover everything I want to say, conscious of the time, etc. He wouldn't want to come anywhere near me. When I wake up in the morning, my energy is softer. My frequency is different. I very frequently have either chest, tummy, or like leg cuddles from him, usually 5 or 10 minutes. There's been the odd occasion when we've had pillow cuddles, but very, very rare. And a lot of the time, he will be with me when I meditate. A lot of the time, I'd say like 85% of the time. So, do they come to you when you are in a different energetic vibration? So, that's a point to think about. Okay, number 4. Does your cat sleep with their eyes open? That might seem a bit strange, but if they're curled up on the sofa or on their cat bed, are their eyes slightly open? Being able to settle into their environment is a confident, comfortable, safe, and secure feeling cat. Cats are predator and prey animals, okay? So they need to be aware of their surroundings. However, there is a time and a space where they can lean into that safety. I will see Leo unless he's in like an igloo bed, which is where he likes to sleep, so he's contained. If he's anywhere else, he is almost kind of like, one eye on the world and one eye sleeping, if you know what I mean. So a secret sign of an anxious cat is that they are constantly monitoring what's going on around them because they're waiting for that fight or flight to kick in, for them to have to deal with there's a threat. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick check-in. Have you noticed that your cat has done any of the things that I've mentioned so far? So we've got running out of the room when you walk in, being reactive when the doorbell or the letterbox goes, coming to you for physical touch only when you're sleepy, okay, and sleeping with their eyes open. So drop into the comments below and let me know. I love to hear from the Naturally Cats community. Okay, so then the 5th one that we've got is alert when eating. So there are some cats, Pickle used to be one of them, she would be head down in the bowl and nothing could distract her from her food. Leo is very cautious. He is always aware of the slightest sound around him. And actually, food for him is like functional. It's like putting on your pants. I don't know why that came to me then, but it's almost like something that he has to do, and if there is the slightest noise or he feels threatened in any way, he will run behind the sofa. His food station is on the floor, so he can go straight behind the sofa. He doesn't get lost in food. He doesn't particularly, I would say, enjoy food. It's not like it's a pleasurable thing for him. So what is your cat like when they're eating? Just watch them. Watch them at a distance. Are they kind of taking a lick of their plate and having a look around? Are they chewing as they're looking around? Okay, just take a look. Number 6 is being fully engaged with play. So again, the signs of a cat that is happy, healthy, and content and safe in itself, content and strong in itself and its environment will jump into play. They will be fully engaged. Like, sometimes with baby Max, because my cats are literally polar opposites, there is nothing that can distract him from playing. He is there, he is in the zone, and he is going to get that spring or that mouse or whatever it is that we're playing with. Whereas with Leo, it takes a lot to tempt him even to go to pounce to play. I've worked really hard with him since I've had him to encourage him we've used it as a bonding exercise, etc. And there are still times when he shows that he kind of wants to play, but it's almost like he can't. He's like holding himself back because he can't quite let go. So again, these are sort of those secret signs that actually he is cautious and potentially dealing with anxiety. So don't forget, anxiety shows up in different ways in cats. For me, I think about anxiety in humans, and that's like my brain is just going off the charts with things. And I talked about that in a previous video. But with cats, there are different levels, as with humans, and different severities of anxiety. It's just something to bear in mind. Okay, number 7 is that they are not fully engaged with everything that's going on around them. And by that I mean they're not looking for alerts. They're on the sidelines. You know, they won't fully come and sit in the front room, for example, or if the TV's on, they're in a different space. So there are times, because cats are cats, where they don't want to be around humans. They are dealing with their energetics and they are balancing their energy as they need to in a different space, different room. They're in their cat bed. They like to be somewhere warmer, somewhere cooler, whatever it may be. But if your cat continuously prefers to be distant from the family, I would ask yourself if there's anything that you can do to support them with creating a deeper bond. Can you bring in some playtime if they're open to it? Can you bring in treats if they are food motivated? Okay, what can you do to encourage them to connect with the family? Are they open to brushes? Can you put some herbs down in the front room? Our cats don't need to be the center of the family, but it is important for them to have a connection with the family. Cats are sentient beings and they have a range of emotions. And one of those is needing to feel loved. Okay. So if your cat is kind of distancing itself from the family, like I said to you before, if you're concerned, get a check done. But just think about if this is something that could be going on with your cat. Okay. And then the last one is the last secret sign is running away if you go to touch them. Now, yes, this could be because your cat isn't used to physical touch, is in pain, doesn't like physical touch, but it can also be a sign that they are anxious because they don't want to have any chance of being constrained. Like I said to you before, Leo doesn't like to be picked up. I know he is cautious when I go to approach him, whether that's hand, palm out or finger or wherever it may be. There is a fear in him that I'm going to scoop him up and pick him up. And when I pick him up, he goes into freeze mode. So I had to make peace with the fact that our first level of connection is not via physical touch. And that's been I've had a lot of journaling about dealing with that, trust me. But cats aren't here for our pleasure. They're not here to provide that need, to solve that need for us. So understand what it is with your cat if they run away from you. Again, how can you build trust with them? How can you deepen that connection with them? So if you're interested to learn more about how you can support your cat if they've got anxiety, I have got a playlist, which I will pop a link below, about how to help anxious cats. And there are different videos in there which talk to you about different ways to support your cat. Because let's face it, if we do have a cat that has levels of anxiety, we can do something to help them. First and foremost, we can look at ourselves. What are we bringing to them? Are we projecting our beliefs, our stories onto them and how they should behave? Because let's remember, every cat is an individual. So I hope that this video has helped. And like I said, drop into the comments and let me know, does your cat do any of these? Does your cat do all of these? How many of these secret signs can you now notice in your cat? And how has it helped you to understand them more? I love to hear from the Naturally Cats community. And don't forget, just before I sign off, that if you need more support to deal with your anxious cat, check out my playlist. There's a link below in the comments, in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.